Hey, good evening. I'm here. It's SMZ3. It's Boots Tournament 774 normal. Gesture Zooks here tracking. Probably explained in chat where I was. But anyway, we got Tyvarius. We got So15, which is I've seen. Both of them played Zelda 3 pretty commonly, so I can tell you from that it's going to be a good match. We're seeing here Eastern from Tyvarius already, which isn't a bad play, especially whenever you're headed that way to get Saha's Closet here with Boots. So we just found 3 bombs out of a box, so now we're going to have those to go do the usual traditional Kakariko stuff, which is nice, assuming we don't find any more somewhere else. We'll get 1 if we want it out of the bog rocks at the fortune teller. I guess they're bomb rocks. They have a bomb in them. As we see here, this is a nice way to start. Just like in Zelda, standalone Zelda, you get the boots available to at least cut down a little on the bomb requirements. Here in the back of Escape for 1, and race game, things like that. So yeah. We just want to accidentally run into some of those arrows from the tree pull there. I know we don't have a bow, but I figured it'd at least grab one of them. Bombs there for sale on whatever tier we're on because I have no idea. Depending what we find in here might actually be nice to have gotten those for quick and easy. Bit of a sync up here already. We had a itty bitty tiny bit of divergence here till just a few minutes went by and we're here again. Just picking up the stuff. It's your SMZ3 starter package we tend to find here most of the time. So kid selling his bug net for immediate resale there, as we see. It might not be bad to have early like this, just we find something to put anything in it. But more than likely we'll get male hearts, something like that, before it matters. Everybody passing on library missiles. Catch how many we have, but they are just one pack. You might as well save the seconds if you really don't need them. Split again here. We have so heading for the castle. The deciding factor here is we see those bomb counts. This will allow So to get at least the front done, if not more. Tyvarius doing a bit of a, I guess we'll call it a density route, as opposed to optimized movement where you want to get mini Moldorm Cave and then go get this, and all you might end with Agina. And it's mostly just to see if you can find anything nice quickly. Outlining as a pickup, yeah. Paid for it. Some currency or another. So you have that book too, so that'll let us walk into desert. At least. The issue here is we'll not be able to leave so easily. We'll have to route this so that he ends up on the right side exit in order to check Agina, which probably isn't too bad. Nice reaction there. Bombs are still something you want to grab here. No choice but to wait for the antline. Nothing to get through it any quicker. But this is a right thinking move, I think. Whenever you have the book this early, this could well be the reason. And I'd say it is with that hammer now. That will make things like what So's doing now a lot easier and cheaper. That'll almost certainly be access to something soon, I would think. Keep a lookout for whenever So gets there. Couple of replacement bits of ammunition there in Link's house. It'll have SMZ3 routing whenever you don't necessarily have to do the house for a while. Frequently do later than this, and that, I guess, was, yeah, the second item. So Tyvarius is out. Is not going to spend the time walking to Agina, as I thought could happen. So we'll see if and when it happens later. Okay, so Dark World we need all of outside of Pod with its green pendant. So, you know, we might need that anyway. But hammer in hand, we're going to have some stuff to do first. Hopefully we can make ourselves a list with anything we find before the Pod topic comes up. So on the Zora route here without the money, so just be able to check the ledge and move on. I guess this is an option too, just leave it there to give you incentive to go back, at least a little more incentive once you do have the money. Makes this other accessible but not logical. Obviously, you're walking on water. Check a little quicker to get to. I've seen that done both ways. You'll check the ledge or you won't. If you don't, as easy as it is, it's for that reason. So you don't isolate one check, and you can feel a little better about potentially going back later. Maybe if you're lucky, you get catfish, and you have a mirror at the time. So you can do 3 even instead of 2. Desert for so. We'll come up with that hammer, and I'm sure we'll move on in short order to what Tyvarius is doing. A little bit of caution here for Tyvarius. It's not a good time to say lose hearts. You don't know what's in that box, though. So that would have been a nice refill, but it is definitely advisable to be careful with a hammer down here before you go to blind. Especially if you don't win that fight, you lose the script, and it's just a bunch of unfun things. 7 hearts. We'll see how he does. Ideally, stay out of physical contact. Took one, almost a second one, but avoided it. Now there, like, see, you take a fireball, you prefer that. Being only 1 heart, and means that the armor you have makes no difference. So actually, nice fight. Gets this one out of the way for a 1-0 crystal leader. Quick ped check here, just some more bombs. That's out of the way as well. I got the first part of that error game trick figured out. The second part, that one scares me. But Tyvarius has had time to work on that, clearly. There's the first sword here under the dig game, and I guess we haven't. I was gonna say we haven't seen a map in the light world, so we actually don't know if we got pendants in Super Metroid or what we got. Unless there's 2 out of the 3 in the light world, we're going to have at least one. I'd be willing to bet that's the case at this point. Read on the... Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong... I'm sorry. Looking at the SM bosses as though they were light world stuff. I'm misreading the tracker as usual. So, in fact, we do, have one somewhere over there. So, see, we got a quick confirmation read on the remaining red crystal there. Called just enough armor. So we'll pick it up under the shovel there. Good move getting that in the bottle turned in so we can not have to worry about them. Flute is something that on its face here, and of course in SMZ3 we don't need, quote unquote, but the possibility exists. It's just not a very good one. So if we find a flute later, we just get it turned in and turned on at our leisure. You're playing Zelda 3 alone, sometimes you will want to see if you can pull that together if you have to make a repeat trip to Kakariko before you actually do that, so you can put them all together. But we real need to worry about it here. Look in the stream there. I'm sure it's just fine. Just needs a little kick in the rear end here on SpeedGaming's part. Gonna try anyway. I guess that's what I thought the black screen was. Usually is, but with a reset timer, I don't know. little bit of concern here. Tyvarius is just, you hope you're running into some money at some point, but it hasn't happened in a half an hour, so it's to Houlihan's room we go. We're still at this point almost to Zora money. I think we'll be able to come up with that, no problem, especially with the glove and the farm spot, so we'll see what the fish has, I'm sure. I don't know what's going on. If that timer was reset or we're having a weird buffer thing. See if we can get it worked on. Tyvarius wants his water walk set up, no blame there. So we're going to spend the time and get it. See what order this gets done in. It's a nice double take. Not super 100% sure if we're going to bonk on it, edge of the stair or the ladder or not. Do not want to bonk. Lose your water walk. Anyway. Bombs here as we knew, so Tyvarius will do the thing to get fake flipper back, if nothing else here, and then get the rest checked out. I didn't notice before, but the half magic showing up right there in front of the waterfall is actually pretty nice for the reason of you consider putting green goo in a bottle there. It takes a little longer here because the text and animations are still there. But once you get that half, it's like, yeah, you don't need that. So not missing out on Zora. The Tyvarius just kind of wants the $50 just in case. Not a bad idea. Gesture. I'm guessing there's still going to be like a 45-second buffer. So if we, I don't know why we would, but if we see so go over that as a difference between their timer and one with Tyvarius, then I guess, yeah, but see speed under spec rock here for Super Metroid, and it's just actually one of the first things we're finding, really. I didn't catch where the morph ball was. It's so fine, but I guess it can't be that bad. The simultaneous 5 rupee pickup. There's not too many of them, I guess, but it's kind of funny to me whenever you see that. Tyvarius is going to take a trip back to the ship, which happens whenever you take a transition. Your game is saved and the location is set to the ship. Use that for strategic movement, as it were. As we see here, and I kind of expect this, Tyvarius is going to push this speed booster, hoping for something nice. Well, we see a sink here, but unfortunately, I guess I can't really tell. I should, I don't know, maybe I flip streams around so we can really see what So's doing there, but couldn't see what was behind the reserve tank location, as Tyvarius can't do that. Yeah, that positioning is something I never bothered to learn to get back through the breakable wall there without falling through the floor. That being said, what did I must have seen something. I took my eye off looking for the other stream that Tyvarius picked up that's worth keeping here. Looks like we're mostly back together for the moment on the stream. That's good. Jestro, I guess I thought about screenshotting. I hope you did that. But if you want to do quick research and you hadn't, I'll try to help out here where I can. So we're going through, the remainder of Greenbrun here for so with the morph ball in hand and not finding a lot. Nothing in Retro Bryn that Ty can reach, so just gonna go back up here. Finally, something to mirror. Now it's, of course, behind Wave Beam. We need that by logic. So, I guess that'll turn up somewhat soon, I hope. Tie things together, as we do, in fact, need that mirror. At least once. Tyvarius looks like headed for pod here. And again, it's what I mentioned when it came up. It just kind of sticks out, as it usually does. Fire rod now, so the stuff's finally shown up here in Greenbryn. So for Tyvarius's race here, you hope something's here, at least, to make it necessary for everybody. It's like I actually did something, I forget what, recently, where I took a purposeful trip in here and ended up with nothing. And did so early, mostly because I'm usually trying to avoid it. So I'm like, you know what, I'll be good. And do what you should do and come in here and there's nothing. Just, so here's hoping. That, and I guess no matter what's in here, you're just hoping that after this, Tyvarius will maybe walk out and walk up toward Catfish. Shiniku pointing out in chat the money apparently was what was saved here for being able to get in here with 110 that you need. It's just, yeah, I definitely didn't think of that without the counter on screen. Silver arrows, not what we want right now. That we might need. So, write that one down. Tyvarius is gonna not bother with mimicry, whatever. But it's hard to walk out of pod, so no surprises on that call. But we'll see what happens next here. Looks like probably going to be Skull Woods area and that sort of thing. The next Catfish option then becomes a Kern jump or something similar to get across after that. So look for that now. Couldn't tell if we saw that item, but yeah, looks like so. Just lost the wall jump there. It's unfortunate in here. So that can stay where it is. For nothing else, Tyvarius, when he gets to that area, will at least be able to just do it. Having a good time with the blob here. It's just a little too high to get in here with a jump morph. Not enough supers to get through this and be comfortable. Oh boy, I've had this happen. And it's just like, come on, man. So yeah, Tyvarius finally headed the right direction. It's just was talking about the kern jump and all that, and I was like, oh yeah, because... So I got this problem, I always do on comms. I see a thing and I'm like, oh, we have it. So like, I see it in a mirror. And it wasn't even on his screen. And we don't have, well, we do have it. So it has it, but it does kind of make the Dark World North route unpleasant whenever you're not able to get those things on the way. So now it's going to just do Pyramid and Catfish and say some words. But we'll almost certainly start blazing through Zebus. Starting with what, I don't know yet, but... So, yeah, we're not at the point of bad seed, but there's just some weird placements that result in routes like this, I guess. Is it gonna be? There's gonna be something here, whether that's a little demonstration or at least, you know, maybe a thought process. Okay, where do I want to start at here exactly? At least that's what I hope it is. So you just said, get up and take care of something real quick. Be back soon. So going for the bomb jumps to get this check out of the way, it's like you don't want to leave it when you can get it, but this ain't the most fun, even for those of us who have done a lot of it. Gonna see a meetup here again, I think, real quick. We won't, that's right, Tyvarius has that speed booster. So won't know it, but it's a feel-good moment. On the watch back, at least. And take your heart now, okay. No need going back. This is how you, of course, so because I didn't say it, this is what happens. I finally guessed right on what somebody was going to do. Was just in Green Bryn, you know, there's a bunch of stuff that didn't get picked up, but Tyvarius making the choice to, you know, go this way instead and go toward the bosses, really, is what this is, and start getting to work. So I am so sorry. I didn't do anything, but I am so sorry regardless. I feel for that one. You needed one bomb, and probably not even that, because you get to the top and you're like, you know what, I don't know, if I push right now, am I going to make it? And you just do one more, and sometimes it's just because of that thought process that you lose the thing. So, of course, it gets right back up. Perfect efficiency, one try. That's Super Metroid, folks. So it's like, yeah, you know what? You can stay there. Keeping the grapple out just in case I get super tired of these wall jumps. That last one with the Ripper there, you got to avoid. That was scary. Barely made that ledge. You don't want to spend the time to get the grapple out, but sometimes it works out better. Yeah, we do have that one pendant outstanding. Tyvarius making his choice, and you don't often check this before you go to do it, especially with the locking so much stuff up here. But part of this, I'm sure, is also that morph ball and the timing of it. So you want to just make a call and to do something. So more than likely, 75%. Well, for Tyvarius' knowledge, 75% that we need this boss. And even if we don't, we're going to push it and maybe find something at the top. Yeah, and it's so did check. Okay, I saw Tyvarius do it. I think I saw it. I don't know what I saw anymore. Talking to the bomb shop guy for the crystal knowledge. Tyvarius making a very wise call there to try and pull a little bit of energy. It's wise and it's kind of lottery-ish because you might not be able to avoid one of them firefalls, but didn't want to die there trying to Doppler that last time. In fact, gets it, and yeah, that's soul of Kraid, as it were. But we need this. Yeah, gesture. I think we're good on it. Definitely didn't see so do it, but there's probably reason for that. But I was pretty sure I saw it on the left side. So yeah. So you don't always see that though, especially bilaterally. Whenever you don't have keys and map shuffled and all that. But we didn't know it, and we wanted to know it, and it, if it's in SM, that saves you a little time, I guess, to check. I never thought about it. More leeway. It's a bit of a quicker fight for So on Fantoon here. Just going to be chasing Tyvarius up now. We'll also do top here. Will Tyvarius do the top? I mean, I think Tyvarius probably will. Speed is our access to the E-Tank item here. We're seeing Tyvarius having to take a run up into the sponge bath to get across here, and good thing for the save. Spiky Room of Death for a reason. I don't think it's actually referenced that way anywhere. If it is, I missed it, but there's something that I knew and knew why. Suit list for sure is one of the best times to take a save. Yeah, timing's gonna get thrown off again. Took a hit from the thing that's not a puffer, but I'm calling it that because I played Prime first. We're resetting. We are. So, out of the way. So, being up here, this is what happens. I take my eye off stuff. Most of the time, you're going to check that thing that Tyvarius just checked, but I guess didn't because it's in front of Tyvarius right now. So there'll be another one where, if he never does, then it's okay. But I have seen instances where somebody hopes for something nice, or even if you don't find it, you'll do it at the end after the gravity suit location check. Everybody's favorite beam right there. Coming up here, you might as well grab it, huh? And it does help with, their offense missing, like screw attack and things like that. Okay. Time to be careful, so I guess you could just do that. It's a good check of the HUD there. Make sure we can. Not the usual place you'll see that, but some of these things, they hit harder than you think. Without a suit, you're supposed to have already a suit up here per vanilla design, but Spring ball, okay. We can get out of here. I said we could get out of here using it. That's good timing getting that block. You can jump out when that happens, but Tyvarius looks like probably gonna make this time back up here with that speed booster. This is why I wasn't sure if So was gonna do this, because he doesn't have all that cool movement stuff, or any of it. But I suppose the game is getting to the point of thin that this is well enough indicated. We're just going to skip the reserve check here, just going to do it later, and this is just full clear mode, I guess. Check this first, see if it's anything nice. Like if it's space jump, and you don't check it first, boy, it feels bad. Not as bad considering when you have speed, but we messed up the first jump. We're here, we might as well. A little, not sure exactly what's going on. He knows he has speed. Oh, the health, yeah. Saw it right when I saw a chat pop. So that's actually really unfortunate. So yeah, we're probably gonna want that. Good chance we need it. Not guaranteed, but good chance. No, that's even worse. Just gonna go for it. Maybe. Oh, farm down here. Okay. This is a fun wreck ship, isn't it? Actually trying and figure out how to do this. Finally, seeing one health drop here. Second one for 5 and another 5. It's like, come on, game. Well then, I mean, it's almost vanilla. So yeah, I was looking back at, what we had left, and I guess that means not surprised to see something progressive here at all, but it's funny when it's that, I guess. Last one here. Just run through it. You saw there from So something I guess I probably should understand, but I don't, where it's... if I had to guess, I guess it's one of those things wherever you try to turn around and spin jump at the same time, but you got those frames to wait for the turnaround animation before you can get enough forward momentum to start to spin. So you see there twice, takes a jump straight up, even despite holding left. See a lot of timings get thrown off with animations here in Super Metroid. It's simple on its surface, as we see the bow there for another piece of progression. But you don't... It's hard to kind of work that stuff into your game whenever you're trying to go fast. Stuff you probably wouldn't normally notice, I guess, unless you were playing it. So, first two neighboring items in your inventory just hanging out here together, being fun. That was... wow. I saw the waiver hit coming. I was like, oh no. Could have had to have a fun piece of bomb jumping or something going on, or at least walking back up the spike stairs. Mitts, though. Mitts. So trying to remember how to get out of here. But Mitts at X-ray. Okay. I mean... here's one immediately off top of my head. so has this mirror from Greenbryn. Tyvarius is going to have to go there at some point. Do mitts get done first? If so, what happens without the mirror? What does Smith Chain have, for example? But so we'll have some options. Some options. Like Ice Palace, no cane, no flippers, whatever, or cane. It's funny how cane you don't really need, but it's a more preferable item to have for a required dungeon. For speed, time-saving tricks. It's that spin jump issue again. Played this game a long time. I still have that problem. But it's like, come on, gravity, help me out. Let's go a little faster here. Just try it again. Space jump, though, right away from gravity. However, takes me a second again to think we can get it. Just okay. Has not been up the mountain to get speed boosters yet. Yeah, a little claw getting in the way there. We're gonna have to slow down, but hey, we can at least see our exit door after this. Pretty quick work of it though, Tyvarius. And Varia. Okay. Well, so can get that, as we can see. It's just wet because this is interesting to me, because this is like one of these, if you're in the game, you don't know it. We've had several of these, but when you're watching it, multiple feels bads here now with the fact that, you know, we know that space jump was attainable to negate having to do this right here. You know, and speed for that matter would have also taken care of it, but sometimes in the game it's just, you'd rather see, on looking back, something you couldn't do as opposed to something you can do in an unpleasant way. Because at least if you can't, it just come back later. Gets the grapple here. It'll. Okay, so is showing some resilience here, because that's faster than bomb jumping usually, but almost missed it and was able to re-grab the grapple block. I mean, props. It's all this stuff you hope not to need, and you need it, and they're making it work for you. See Tyvarius. Let's see what this does here, because I mean, they're basically chasing each other for the last half an hour here, and we'll see what this does for. We're gonna get like pretty much immediate feedback on how this is gonna affect these the differences between them here. We, you know, have one player giving up a little time and wrecked ship with sky missile access weirdness. Again, not even something you couldn't do, but just things that happened, and given up time there, was ahead until then, and now may be able to make up some here by having speed in hand already to get all the rest of this stuff quickly. Makes perfect sense for So, though, doing the gravity jump here. Despite that grapple proficiency we just saw, the quote-unquote intended way to do that room. Maybe we'd see it again, but So is probably like, okay, I've had enough grapple for one day. This is a kind of exchange you just don't see every day, I tell you. SpeedGaming 5 coming in with 67. Probably just about doubles us, I guess, but I haven't looked. Anyway, welcome. Whatever you were doing, you missed some fun stuff. Fun for us, at least, here. But this is Super Metroid Zelda 3 Randomizer combined. There's places in the games to switch from one to the other. A lot of you probably seen this before, but we're playing with starting boots, which gives us a whole other set of things to do, and I think it actually affected a lot today, but if nothing else, we get to go fast. That's something I know most people here can agree with. But we got Tyvarius and So 15, both primarily Zelda 3 runners, but watch this long enough, you can see they've done this. They know how to handle some stuff in here. Even improvising to do so. So it's been a good match. You can hang around if you want. So yeah, SM map rando, Nochibato says. I still can't play that well, so I don't. There's that wave beam. It's might, point that might light up, at least mentally, the whole. Well, I guess it'll do. Well, it won't do Croc for Tyvarius because Croc there's already access there for him, but it might light up that single check back in Green Bryn, which, just to catch up, Tyvarius did do, but without Morph Ball, it was a catfish. So it wasn't able to complete very much of that, and our mirror is there. Along with the fire rod later on, so Tyvarius will have to get back here at some point. The positioning of the yard to get through the speed blocks there is precise, especially without high jump. So it looks like we can, I guess, yeah, we probably saw, I guess we saw the one item at least, and then the other one we just can't see unless we want to try that again later. Tyvarius, again, though, is just trailing So through here. This Meridia here, we'll be able to get it no problem. Speed booster again was under Spec Rock, which is a trip that So didn't make, and no blame for that. Now, okay, I was going to try that first one, so that one looked better. But this one's too high. But yeah, you go up there without a mirror. That's not something that's guaranteed to happen, so you can understand why So didn't do that. Steve Parker now with 49. Hey, welcome. SpeedGaming 4 and SMZ3, Super Metroid Zelda 3. It's faster than right now, 6 and 7 letters, but it's 2 games combined once again and randomized. There's a little tournament we're running here. It's been a while since we've done one of these, actually. I don't even know when. I'd say 2 years, and I bet you that's short. Welcome on in. See, there's the 100 there on Shactal. So nothing in the sand pit ahead of time. Tyvarius is going to reset here and check the other one, or maybe just move on towards Dragon after going back to Aqueduct. I think that's what it's called. I confuse some of these room names. This one. This one. Still do have that pendant. I don't know if somebody did a Norfair check when we were down here or not. So did, at the very least, I guess. So that's where it is. So I didn't pay that much attention till now, sorry, but I'm going to guess checking the sand pit first means Tyvarius did not. Just want to get it out of the way just in case we're in fact not coming back this way. My thinking, anyway. What was that we're keeping? The lamp, okay. I mean, it's a fire source for some things that Bombos won't take care of, yeah. So I guess we're going to have to keep it, unfortunate, because it comes back to catfish still, with not having the morph ball on that trip to Green Bryn. So yeah, I can't really parse this out right now as far as leads. So not the first time I've judged that missile gate short. It's got something, I don't know, I think it's got something to do with the ceiling coming down a tile there at right before it. Or if that doesn't happen, I assume your super would hit it regardless. So yeah, that's big familiar. So again, my eyes on the wrong thing that we're talking about. What jump was that, Nochibato? Because I was making notes here because that's one of those things with speed you can do just running off the ground. So I don't know if that's what happened, but yeah. So it's also going to have a quick little look here at Crate Belly, maybe a little longer than we'd like. But that's done. All right, next to the missile block. See, that's actually harder without high jump. I guess the only reason I mentioned high jump there is because with speed and without high jump, you jump at the wrong time, you're going to lose height. It's actually a little easier and more consistent a lot of times when you have it to just run along the bottom, but that's the, I guess I want to say the preferred way to do it without speed. Oh no, I'm thinking of the one below. You're talking right next to the, yeah. So, yeah, I can't think straight. I'm sorry, but yeah, no, that one, I think actually has benefited by having speed for the same reason where you lose height, so you bonk on the ceiling a little later and able to get across that way. So I've seen it, yeah, but not much for sure. I guess there's also take out all the blocks and get a little more of a run. Another way, but again, not so common. Tyvarius, able to, for whatever reason, you wouldn't think, but your grapple beam has the same horizontal length, whether you're firing horizontally or not. So I was able to get that turret hooked onto there. Usually I'm doing the left one. I think that one's a little higher if you manage to miss the first few, but either way. Just Tyvarius' fourth tank at an hour and 30 minutes. It's another one of these warps back to Zelda 3. Now, that being said, unless we want to fake flipper at risk, there's not much to do here. So this is just going to be to get to Zelda. Probably save and quit, go somewhere else. Or we can do that, and I guess we're going to go back to the ship. This will probably be the green burn route now from Tyvarius. I know I mentioned it before, but it's a weird enough thing. I'll mention it a lot where you make the transition between the games, and it is programmed to save your game. So in this case, primarily, it was for that purpose. Rupees, trying to avoid it, but had a sad enough look in its gleaming little eye that we had to just pick it up on the way out, for sure. A couple ways to do this here for so. All the ones we have are logical. We have, so, as the one it's logical that you just did, there's also using Ice Beam at the appropriate time to freeze an enemy. That would be logical in the other logic package. So, once again, unfortunately, I've seen many more ways it can be logical and just couldn't get any of them. Your game, you're bringing up myths and once again making me think of something that I sit here and always I play the game in my head when I'm not actively looking at one screen or another. I guess that's how I watch too. And that being said, I thought Tyvarius was going to end up with the myths because it's going down Red Tower, same as so. But I guess did not. Yeah, I would have said maybe not having great access at the time, but pretty sure Grapple was there because I was talking about it crossing the ocean for Fantoon, so. Well, I do also remember one of the things I was saying is about, he's going to get the myths and then maybe do some stuff in a dark world without the mirror from here. So I guess I'm trying to see how that... I don't know, I guess I'm trying to guess what the thought process would have been on that one. X-ray is one of those, 98% nothing, and the other two are required. Doesn't seem to be much of a nice to have in between on that check for some reason. No reason it should be like that, but that's how it seems to be. So just on account I didn't mention this before, as I'm looking now, some retread and a bunch of junk here in Upper Norfair. That bow we found, most of the time, right? It's just like, oh, that's cool, good thing, because there's only one, unlike some other randos, and it likes to hide, but I already knew they were pendants, but the bow dungeons both are, and it's like, well, what do we really need this for, I guess? And we might still. Something in the back of pod or on Armos, assuming we didn't find all three, which at this point I couldn't tell you, but somebody will. So I'm aware of a Collins curse. I didn't want to say it earlier, but especially knowing, that there are many times where I did put X-ray as part of this loop, but I was wondering if Tyvarius is actually going to do it. Let's see. So there, Zelda 3 aficionado. We're not going to walk around. We're just going to go over this pit and grab this thing. So anyway, but the mitts, I mean, let's put it this way, I guess glad that they're mitts as opposed to anything else, because hopefully, I mean, best case scenario, it's go mode for Tyvarius, or at least something that puts them on a direct path to it. Because if you leave something like, Ice Rod, or Ice Rod at X-ray, that's bad. But this one, it might be okay still. Guess it's also possible that Tyvarius can go back out the side hopper, triple door here, and down, and then, things like climb supers can wait till later since they're at least somewhere near a transition, but that's not what's happening, unfortunately. Yeah, I come through, I like to open that door too, just because, I don't know, OCD, it's blinking, kill the other things. So I just open it. Sometimes I don't, because it's like, oh, you gotta walk left to see the door, but yeah, it may choose to come back down, but at this point it's pretty much equidistant from that spot to anywhere else that you'd want to be. So, but with those myths, we now see the ability to get into some of the steeper stuff in Zelda 3 here, like Bookshot Cave, Super Bunny. So basically, as we're watching, so now the less we find here, the better it is for Tyvarius. Yeah. Speaking of needing things, quote unquote, hookshot. That's fun. Kane in front of TR. Now, if we had the ability to get in there, I don't know if that would be a good thing or not, because I don't hover. So I don't know. Finding, I mean, it'll be nice for a couple things like Ice Palace and that one room in Skullwoods that I don't think so has been to yet. But that's one of the cane spots that exists for sure. Gonna meet back up here in Tyvarius. Getting there completely different ways, but unfortunately, you can't hover Herapod. I mean, if it could, I mean, you can clip through some stuff with boots, but I guess that ain't one of them. I feel like it could be though, you know. Probably one of those things where somebody's tried it. I'm sure somebody's tried it, and probably you can get into it, but then probably not in the right position to scoot yourself over as you would be with a hook shot, so you don't lock yourself. That's my guess. It's SG3 here now with the 141. Welcome on in. Hey, SpeedGaming 4, and SMZ3. I knew I was going to get those numbers backwards, so I had to slow down. Anyway, welcome. It's Tyvarius and So15 for SMZ3's 2025 tournament. We got 774 boots, so take your 77 that you know of from A Link to the Past and add in the 4 Metroid bosses. We need them all to complete this here game. I wonder if I can recap and say that Catfish was on Morph Ball, and that kind of just explains everything. It's Tyvarius taking a wisdom-laden opportunity here to get something done while we're waiting for the tiles. Always a fan of that. Didn't want to look like we got it. I love when that happens. Don't know the mechanics on that one, but Tyvarius going to chase So up the tower here, who's just now getting done with Moldorm for another crystal that we do need. Like I said, we need them all. Some of these, it's another thing, some of these Metroid boss, whatever you want to call them, tokens, credits, they can be on Zelda bosses. All the prizes can be anywhere, and that said, one of our pendants is on Ridley, which is always a fun one because that's a long trip. So if we need anything down there, and I hope we don't, that can be a tough call to make. Just missiles in Spike Cave there. Good time to get it though. I was wondering what was going to be here just because it's one of those mids checks you don't need the mids for necessarily. High jump, nice, but not progressive at this point, so it's okay. Good to have, you know. Though I don't think we've seen, probably not, Graveyard Ledge. Sometimes can be like we saw earlier with the Zora check, something where you'll leave one of them just so you have a better reason to go do them both at the same time later. Especially when it's Graveyard Ledge. That check loves to burn people. But might see it anyway. Maybe. So I was going to finish Skullwoods here. We can do that. Everybody can do that now. This is what I mean about the cane here. It makes this room trivial. It's not one of those things you pay a lot of attention to just because it's not the requirement you want to focus on to come in here, but it does save a lot of time. It really does. That's something that's not a given either. Getting around it, getting that corner in the middle without hitting the tile to get through that room quickly. That's pretty precise, I'd say. I mean, the mechanics of that part of the grid I did know about, but it's not something ever thought about trying to apply there, just because of odds, I guess, of screwing it up that I would have. It's a big key, and I don't remember if Tyvarius found an item in the front or not. So we'll find it eventually. But this route, I'm guessing, is to make it so that we can end up in the front and then do things like, yeah, graveyard ledge. Because there's not really a better time to do it. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, that one there, I want to say, I think had to be a key. 5 years in, I still don't understand it. Maybe it didn't, but sometimes I think it does because it's there often enough, and there's a whole door access thing. There's a bunch of useless doors in this dungeon. Double check there, the ledge. I think it was just a tank of some sort. It's the other item, okay. So yeah, we did find it. Got that cake too. Don't think we checked that on the way in. So we can check this as well. Tyvarius here. Wanting a ped check was not quite sure what, because it was headed toward that thief in the southeast corner, and then turned around after I realized it was there. I just wanted to go that way, and you don't often do it, so you don't remember about that. But I guess I'm not seeing how that would have been better to, yeah, okay, he does have the fire, that's right. I can say that maybe he didn't have a mirror fire, but those are both on that green burn loop, which we did finally clean up, so you could check ped with that, I guess. It's typically what you do. So I mentioned this before, this kern jump thing, it's basically get yourself hit with a bomb at the right time so it can shove you across the super tile border there without splashing or near enough to splashing that it keeps you in the water. Somehow works like that. Anybody who wasn't here earlier, we had this happen on the right-hand side before. Just one of those things that are going to work out. And Gesture is doing tracking for us and taking care of things like this, so much appreciation. I've had the streams pulled up, so I'll try and play-by-play that one. You know, I can't watch two screens at the same time on the same screen anyway. There's Moth for Tyvarius now, and that's got 2 of the Metroid bosses with that, and 3 crystals, so 3 and 2 out of 7 and 7. What I'm seeing. 4 and 2. That's right. It's high jump for Tyvarius. You don't hate it, but it is past the point of usefulness, really. A little more useful whenever you have speed. It eliminates that height loss from a lot of the jumps you might make. You know, we can see here a little bit, but yeah, he's got himself a short charge worked out here. Try to do a little damage with that. That is ultimately going to go for the grapple. Bomb the ice creature. Probably not the intent, but we'll take it. You can see Ice Beam Crumble Tower locations here from Tyvarius, and after this, what happens for him because of the outstanding mitts And also, I think maybe possibly because of the catfish problem. Tyvarius is pretty late to that one. So sometimes it can affect how you do things going forward. We'll see. One of the plays you could make, again with these pendants laid out the way they are, is go into pod. And the problem is Tyvarius has already done that without a bow. Not keen on doing it again, I think. Did find one medallion in there. That would have been ether. That's why he has that, and so does not. We don't know if we need it. Not yet. Haven't had a look at Meyer. Croc, yeah, Croc is one of these, and I think what we're going to see here is a save, just so we can get back. I don't know, we're just going to see a couple of super missiles. We could save there, but I guess, you know, might have thought about it, and you know, you think about what you feel your odds of finding something down here are, whether you do something like that or not. So and then ultimately decided not to. Faith in the Croc is what that amounts to, I think. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that was a consideration of the save more than just getting 2 super missiles. Tyvarius staying over here. This is one of these things that actually I like to think I should know and don't. If you stay over far enough, does it reduce the lag from croc melting? So I was trying to watch animated lava. I did not actually know. I think I saw it slow down. Maybe it reduces. Since you don't have to be over here to the left until later, that's valid if it does work. I just never looked into it. But yeah, this is one of these things we're going to see So 15 doing here. The Ice Palace play that we need to be here. Big key, I guess, is an iced tea, which is awesome as always. So we'll probably actually take the time to go do that and bring it back. But with that cane in Hookshot Cave without a hookshot, not logical. You don't need it down here anyway, but it does, as it usually does, make Ice Palace a lot more of an attractive option. At least as far as when to do it. Let's hope for Tyvarius here in the next second. What grapple location has? Nothing there, unfortunately. So it's a gamble you make, and you just have to walk out now. So Speed Booster goes beyond the raw frame saved with it. I guess we need it for space jump, which means we need it for when we can get to Lower Norfair. So I don't know if the way the things that lay out in the ways you have to get there, is that means that speed is required in this seat or not. Again, probably I should know, but Wasn't sure if Tyvarius is going to head straight down or, yeah, check this stuff out first. So, for a couple of reasons, I don't mind this. For one, if you do this now, you can... I guess part of it's because it's a pendant, so maybe you really don't want to be down here, but... I just realized that once again, so yeah, no, this makes a lot more sense actually, but just for the sake of conversation with myself, let's pretend that it isn't, you know, so you do this first, then you go to Lower Norfair, you finish it up, that way you can end up in Mire since you don't have a flute, and don't have to worry about, you know, whether you just want to continue out the normal way and do this then. It's just, unfortunately, there is nothing here. There often is, especially whenever Croc is empty, so I guess there is a mushroom. I don't know if we saw that now, come to think of it. Yeah, turn into that. But usually not knowing on my end means there was nothing. Even if you're wanting to try and push things and make plays for whatever reason, it's hard to ignore this. It really is to, you know, do this. As opposed to, yeah, going down a pendant Lower Norfair first or anything else unpleasant. You know, we have a couple medallions. If Tyvarius had that cane as well, that could shift him back in that direction, but does not, and so should not, but does. So you can finish Mire on your one trip in, potentially, more than likely, 2/3 chance. There's so many numbers games you play in your head with SMZ3. So looks like, yeah, I guess similarly, thinned on options again. Good options at least. No Smith chain, but without it, there's, yeah, stuff like this, not much else, so see if this is, say, probably for Croc, but going this way, I don't know. Yeah, so Lower Norfair, like I was just saying. I don't think so. Yeah, so I didn't do Croc, pretty sure. So this would be a play on his part. You and I'd probably do Smith chain with mirror in hand before this, but you got to make calls. Tyvarius here just because it's the last thing in the area, so we meet once again, a room and a half apart, less. Love how that's happened in this seed. This seed in this race, we met up a few times now. The lead up of which was different. doing different things in the same area and then ending up in the same spot. It's also funny, both runners here choosing whether. That's interesting, you know. Keeps you from having to get back down here the hard way, right? So actually, feel good for Tyvarius not having that cane, so now you can get back sooner. Well, no, at least we would if Tyvarius had his mitts. That one might still take a little bit to get the X-ray there. Couple of Super Metroid GTs on screen here. So, Difference had enough supers to handle this without having to cut down on regulars to get the farm. Tyvarius, judging from the color, might be here a little while, unfortunately. So again, with no hook shot required for the cane, is going to be able to at least see what access here is quick as well. So, okay, that ether that Tyvarius picked up in pod. So that pod trip value has gone to 0 here, unfortunately. It's ice rod there, though. That's neat. So yeah, quick outstanding. Nobody knows where it is. So now that flute immediately feels better for SO 15. But I'm starting to say is usually this is something green gate glitch. And just eyeball this first, but both runners choosing to just go through the normal way, and there's your flippers. Yeah, so would have seen that. I missed it. Quick to show up right the heck in there in the cave. Tyvarius a little early on that, wisely deciding not to move. So we can try again. Really? So, I don't know if I've seen that going sideways. I mean, yeah, technically works the same way. I've just never seen it. I don't know if there was like a reason to hold the sword out and do that. That it is facing to the left, but. And who's gonna keep Spooky set up here? I didn't know if it would have had anything to do with that. I didn't think it did, but there are many things that I do not know. Yeah, just show tracker and volunteer for tonight, saying that the mushroom could have been the quake. There's, I guess, a couple things that could have been with the. I guess there was an interruption on the source side, so I don't know, but that's probably a good guess. So I was going to try to pay attention, maybe with a hook shot too somehow, but nah. We do need it at some point. Even if so would have you believe otherwise watching the stream here. Screw attack's nice. You know, if we have to, for some reason, go to LN, but I mean, what do we need anything? And if we don't, I'm sorry, I just totally missed when that was. I guess because of the quake thing, but I don't think we. Oh, the hook shot. Yeah, that's it. So I think that's it. Yeah. I'm in go mode item. Tyvarius seeing that trying to get through this without dealing with those 3 parts there in the bottom part looks like you should have the time to do it, but a lot of times just you don't. Tyvarius having to do one final avoidance jump that does get through. So it's a lane mode cleanup for so. It's gonna leave him with just TR and Swamp to go. So I guess despite the extra mountain trip, you'd want to go to TR here. Hook will either just be in there or it'll. Or going somewhere else, but it could be in there, it could be just in Swamp. They're going to turn the flute on, it makes sense. I guess there's no better time to do it. It's not super sure we need it 100% at this point. So Tyvarius into Ridley's area here is going to basically have to hope that the hook shot's down here. If it is, that will be an out or that so may not come back to for a while. I don't know the odds of it, and I don't think he does either, but it's just something that kind of has to work at this point. Tyvarius is missing a lot, unfortunately, at 215. It was a good call from Chad about TR not having hook. something I might have figured out if I was a hoverer, I guess, but since it doesn't come up for me much, I don't think about it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the first thing I was thinking before I said any of that was just swamp because, well, it's your last dungeon. Of course, it's in there. But maybe Tyvarius will find it. Guess. Yeah, I didn't remember either, so I guess we did Magic Bat already. Kind of funny though, is it's one of those that a lot of times you'll throw powder into nothing because you're, a frame shy or a pixel shy of the touching it. You have to be like touching it to get it to work, so we're making sure. This is another little funny thing. Means nothing, but I like mentioning it. You have to touch it for the powder to work, but it doesn't matter where the powder goes. It's just so long as your Y coordinate is right. So sometimes you have a little fun and you turn around and throw powder the other way and it works. So. Yeah, that's a lot of bottles. I've seen quite a few lately. Yes, I think that's all of them, I hope. I just might need to, say a couple more shots, but maybe Ridley is just being that way, and hopefully it's for good reason. So we already noticed nothing's pedestal here. So in the pod for so, and now it's just playing guessing games on everybody's part. We didn't get to see the back of this earlier. We did get that ether, which then turned out to be unnecessary, unfortunately, for Tyvarius, but see what remains. Especially being a green pendant, and, well, that and the fact that we only need one item. I'm sure we're going to see Helmsaur if we don't find it earlier than that. I guess I should have seen that one coming from so there. Here's that other item. Or, I forget where it is. That ether, but it's in front. Last hope for Tyvarius on this route. This check does like to have things. Usually if you have to be down here anyway, and yeah, just a heart. Tyvarius probably expected to find a mitts down here more than anything, if I had to guess. I'm trying to think of what's left here, really. And there's whatever So might do, which is going to include things like Greenbrin's Waterway. No speed at the time. Tyvarius did have by the time he made his loop. Wasn't anything though, but it is a time sink if he chooses to do it. That can maybe bring things back to more even than they are. Tyvarius somehow manages to find a hook before the Mitso. That's a good thing. So we'll see. I'm not sure there's a ton of hook relate or Mitz spots that aren't hook locked that remain, however. I also don't know if So left an item in Mire. I think not, but I really don't know. I thought about it when it was immediately moving to turn the flute on and thought maybe that was so, in case he has to go back. Let's see what this mushroom did in fact have. Now, if it is quick, that's gonna do some more swear words from Tyvarius, I think, for the reason of. There's your quick. Yep, good call, Jestro. The reason of, we have the flute and can get back to Mire. Oh, wait, no, we can't. He admits, too. Was really hoping he wasn't going to stop on flute 6 and try to pull the rock through. But yeah, he knows it, and it just doesn't feel good. And of course, in SMZ3, mitts can be in Mire. They're not today, thankfully, but no idea if there's an item here, but either way, we're going to turn in a green pennant afterward. Yeah, no item, so this is just for the green pennant. You kind of have to do it at this point. But with Tyvarius back in here, that time spent's not going to hurt. I would have expected the green pennant turn in before coming back in here. It's faster, but I mean, ultimately the fastest route is the one that has the item on it. So we'll see. The pendant pickup here solely to keep our position. Block to get around the residual portal there. So yeah, that trip into there first doesn't matter if the hook isn't here either, but I'm really not been able to think of where else. I'm sure there's something, but this is, I guess, probably going to be Croc for so here. This is where you'd usually say, oh, he's giving back time, but I mean, what else are you going to do at this point? So just imagine that happening until we can get that corrected again. So that's a good time to lose it. Don't worry about it. Nothing there, we know. And he said he had a drop before it started. It all makes sense to me. Because, yeah, a little hiccup, and that buffer does not like that. Yeah, so it's in the crock now, for sure, so gonna go through that. Don't know if there was a save up top like Tyvarius maybe would have done, but didn't. At this point, I'd also say so would not do that. Less stuff there is, option-wise, the less likely they are to bother with that kind of thing. It's a balance between the more you need and the less you have, basically. Same thing from Tyvarius, gonna do Armos here first. So it does reset from Croc. So there gotta be a save somewhere. So I get Business Center. Guess we probably knew about that one, but yeah. Been in the mire for so, and it's gonna be for Lower Norfair from the looks of it. Can't blame anybody for this set of selections here. I mean, geez. The race itself, just because of who has what items and who does not have what items. Nobody having that hook, despite the mitts and all the bunch of mitts checks. I wish I knew what was left. I did mention this, that there is just going in the swamp, and you definitely don't need a miss for that. Not pleasant, nobody wants to. I mean, Tyvarius I thought might be doing it here, but may still just want to do this first. But getting to X-ray for Tyvarius for miss is still going to be, I don't know when that happens. I would venture to guess it says play here is, it's kind of density, but I don't think it's area density. It's not time density, though. So this is probably just taking a guess, because actually walking in the swamp might actually be better than coming down here. On the pallet, anyway. There's not much it is going in the hookless swamp. It's funny too, it's another one of these where it was bad before, and now we have that clip through the wall there. You can skip this lever if you have the hook shot, so one less reason to come down here without a hook. So, of course, doing his first hoping is just here. 2 checks at Ridley are even worse than the rest of this. Just to make a choice. It looks like at this point it's going to be go do something else. You really, really hope it ain't down there. I would be turning around going down there, but that's because I have seen several times in this tournament opponent really having something necessary. It's supposed to be random, means nothing for each seed individually, but you know, humans. Was hoping so would go down there just for commentators' perspectives, just so we can close the race up a bit. Because at this point, odds are really good. It's over here. Not sure what So is headed for. Well, there's that. As expected. No Ridley for So 15. Just the rest of LN. This is going to be the waterway. But that check we just passed because So already did it. X-ray somewhere Tyvarius also needs to be. Happens all the time, Tyvarius. All the time. Much love. Yes, pretty much vanilla hook and forget about grabbing that key. Yep. I just want to say, notice how to do the water dive without, or with a cane. Just doesn't, not with the bomb, doesn't have a cane, so this is how you're supposed to do it, folks. Almost lost knowledge at this point. So did not put a save in. Yeah, so it's going to walk out of here too with whatever. Hard because, of course, get final item counts whenever we finish the boss. See if Tyvarius is going to wind up back in for the big chest. But I am not sure which Tyvarius at X-ray right now. I mean, he has done a lot of the stuff that you see So doing, you know, so that's, again, not sure what's left. So it was the same shot he fired, it missed, but Argus be like that with arrows. Yeah, the go mode, well, basically go mode mitts for Tyvarius. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you get mitts, you're going to Dark Mountain pretty darn quick. when that does eventually happen. You know, the big bomb ain't it. Don't remember if we saw a Shackle from Tyvarius. It's going to go to Norfair here, obviously, but does he go? Basically, does he go left or up when we get to the tube here? Yeah, this will put him at X-ray. If he didn't actually do Shackle, good call. If he did, I'm sorry, I just don't remember. So, when I mentioned, like, whenever, So found this for Heck and Ever Go, this is the kind of go mode that Tyvarius wanted to have. It's just going to be, like I said here a minute ago, is you're going to get to the mountain relatively soon. If he goes to Ice Palace first looking for it, which I could see happening, that'll eat some time. So from this portal, I'd guess it's looking like Smith Chain here first for Tyvarius. I can see this too. It's called If It's Here. You don't have to go up the mountain and back down and then back up. But unfortunately not here. I guess maybe when I said about going up the mountain first, it's just because it's something I do based on how much is up there. Ridley for So 15. Sorry, took a minute there. Not down here, and we see Tyvarius picking up that tempered sword. Very nice to have. If you're gonna come up way with Smith Chain without progression, that's probably the best you can hope for. And just now gonna be getting that cane in short order. A lot of back and forth in this seed from everybody, for sure. And Tyvarius is going to wind up in here in go mode here at a ripe old age of, well, seed age of 2 hours and about 48 minutes or so. Probably just run the cane into TR, deal with it, and unfortunately, you got to go back down, do ice pals at some point, and then come back up. It is what it is. I guess you got to do Meyer too, yeah. So, where does this put us? Ice Meyer on 1. Well, Ice Meyer TR. Ice Meyer outstanding. And Swamp outstanding on the other, so it's going to get interesting. Yeah, it's like for Tyvarius, I mean, you can do TR there, but it really doesn't, as you see, matter what order he does these in at this point. I mean, it would if we didn't have to do GT as well, and we do. Can't believe I'm watching a stream where people aren't in go mode at 2 hours. Past my usual magic number of 220, but yeah, this was a doozy. Started with that morph ball, but you know, we've seen worse morph balls for sure. Just a lot of not terrible, but almost that way items, and yeah, a lot of them. So 15 headed here in the swamp will end up in go mode as well shortly. However, willing to bet that he knew about this and just chose to guess that it wasn't going to be here, and just sometimes this is what happens. Be one of these things, I think. At least if it were me, it's like, well, I mean, it's SMZ3. Come on, there's so many more places for the hook to be. If this is just Zelda 3, I'm probably here a lot sooner. And I'd imagine so would he. So Tyvarius now finally able to make good use of that flute. So I guess in a way, having to look through all this other stuff was helpful. in a way. He's out of his chair. He'll be back. There he is. SMZ3, I don't know. I mean, I'd say, because of how complicated it is, it should play worse than it does, but it doesn't. And it races pretty well, too. I like to think, and maybe it's just because this is where I started, I like to think it's a better randomizer than some others. And it's not that any of the other ones are bad by any means. I just like this one better. But it's tough to sit through this, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with the much smaller installed user base. Yeah, so with the hook in hand, doesn't have to check the rest of this now. Probably will get the flooded chest, so gonna real shortly have an idea where we're at, like a good one. Tyvarius. He's gonna try it. That big keyword is, you know, I promise that was farther than I would have got. But take your key and walk around. The positioning is good in general for everybody. For Tyvarius, so you don't have to do the rest of this dungeon, can hopefully get Meyer done a little quicker. It's just I think it is going to put him a bit behind. So 15, but there is a lot of endgame here in this combo randomizer. So hang out. You made it so far. We're proud of you. Everybody has silver arrows, but that will make this easier if he chooses to use them. Cape's out, so probably not. Good equipment, there's a handful of ways to do this well. I guess now that I look at it, arrow count. That's a good reason not to use arrows. That and you hang on to a few for a GT here. So up the mountain, and it looks like we got less than 30 seconds here between these runners up 3 hours. Boy, GT routing will be the last piece of rando shenanigans that can throw things off. We'll see what happens with them. So for now, sit and pray for execution for everybody. There's not a lot of variance you can have in Turtle Rock. So we're getting to the point where even things like that Dead Rock that Tyvarius just hit, could have been just close enough to block him. That would have affected things quite a bit here. So like yeah, and TR even in this front room, wherever you find a big key first. Okay, cool, but well, you still need to do the other side for keys. Could be one, could be two. You need them both to do the rest of this dungeon correctly, so if there are two. So misjudged something on the mountain, I guess. Looking at like a minute now. Looks like 60 seconds between the runners. Again, still not enough to say anything with as much as we got to do after this. Pretty clean Trinex from everybody. So not a lot of changes to be had just yet. Everybody's headed into GT. See what So does. It's going to be left first. That mirror ready just in case. Even if it's not, probably just going to go right afterward. See if Tyvarius goes right here and they'll just line right up. Yep, kind of expected. So now, if it is not in compass room, so we'll get this time back, some of it. Oh, never mind, Tyvarius is going left now. Usually if you start, well, I start right, you go at least as far as compass room. But if not, then I guess probably the next most likely thing is they'll go to Stalfos room and then just continue. Not in compass. Be headed straight through at this point. No, still going to mirror and go back to the left. Okay. So tile room notwithstanding, now Tyvarius is in the front. That is just how fast that can happen. There it is in the map chest. Bunch of key locks on that, but we don't care at this point. We are on the way up. The gap, FY, is 12 seconds. This takes about 5 minutes, scanning another, I don't know, 2 or 3 with everything we have, and then about 10 in Super Metroid remains. This is not over until the escape, I'd say, minimum. And between the two of them, I think Tyvarius has played a little more Super Metroid. I don't know on Turian time saves who has what. I really don't. Those living a little dangerously here. Just got to get through this room. And hopefully don't take any more shots and get that powder out. A little scary. I was wondering if So was doing that on purpose or not. Took a fall and got iframes. Not sure on the going back through the door part. Old worm, once again, another one of those things that, yeah, if you're not careful in a race like this. Check that last one in case we see a gold sword or something. Plasma beam, that'd be nice. Got that charge and swamp where it loves to be here in SMZ3. Runner's gap is now 10 seconds. So getting a nicer pattern. They're not seated here in SMZ3. This fight, it's a balance of seating and management of what you do get. So back to the front goes. So 15. It's not much, and nothing that happens here, I think, from here on out will be. But, an AGA difference is apparently worth 20 seconds. Torch glitch for so, it does not matter. You can even put a GG in and I'll just distribute them where they go because everybody gets one. This Tyvarius going to finish this up pretty quick. It just misses the double there. And even something like that can be significant here. That's unfortunately another 10 or 15 seconds between that and the sword miss. Okay, so let's see. I want to see this. I'm going to take a save here and get some missiles. Without plasma, this is defendable. Oh, no charge either. That's right. So he has to do that. He didn't pick up charge and swamp. Let's see if Tyvarius is going to take the save here. That's a low count. Yeah, he does. Okay. It probably, if he had more, you don't. And then you're actually feeling better than you ever normally would for something like that. Let's see when I touch the elevator here. It's looking like going to be at least 20 seconds. 27 currently. It's rando and all, but I'll tell you what, your fun races whenever people, they get to a point, as a lot do, that you just doing most things efficiently at the level that most people seem to share, and then, well, you have to play the whole game anyway. Like we have different go modes here, but Tyvarius gets his myths earlier, you probably see different routing like you saw with So, and I still think they wind up roughly in the same place here. Tyvarius getting caught here. Try to free himself with regular bombs, didn't work. Gonna go to the power bombs. This, unfortunately, is gonna add a lot. So is gonna try for the skip here. A lot nicer with wave than without. It looks pretty good. A few extra reps there, but want to make sure that that doesn't happen. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting one. This is where I really need to wish I was paying closer attention, because I don't know if he was ticketed for the doorway when he got grabbed and could have just waited out the damage, because now he's going to have to save and quit unless you want to play the rest of the game like this, and you really don't. That's interesting stuff, man. So Tyvarius, no skip. We'll have to take this energy regardless. And I so did that. Didn't have to, I don't think. Yeah, I'm having trouble going back and forth. I don't even know what's going on. But yeah, it's going to have to save and quit here. It's going to take... It's going to have, I guess, I don't know, what is it? 17, 18 seconds, maybe back to So it's going to be... He'll be in front. Wait a minute. No, not anymore. Adding that time from baby speed, give it back to Tyvarius just for a little bit. Oh, wow. Phase 2 at 35 seconds. This is a good way to speed things up. You lose missile lag that way. You lodge yourself in the glass. 18 seconds now difference. You're talking about these same numbers, but they apply to different people depending when I say it. Phaser charge ain't that bad, but opting to burn out the missiles here. Tyvarius is just 1 or 2 more shots. He's done. She's done. Everybody's done. So yeah, doesn't have charge, but is in good enough shape here. And looks like going to absorb an extra rainbow beam. Tyvarius is going to have to mess something up to lose this one now. All these little things. I don't know how to handle this when I come up. This is where I wish I had a Coke on, because I bungle up the ends of games like these. It's just all these things that come together. And, you know, you can look at the rest of the seed too. You can look at Tyvarius getting up, so never left. So that, you know, that maybe makes it closer than it should be. But again, we're human. It's SMZ3. I don't even talk about stuff like that typically, because it's a long game. You can typically afford it, but here we are. It's so negligible, but even that little bit of lag, because Tyvarius was standing back just a bit, that can add up. Now says standing back further, so. This is just the point where everything needs looked at. That is it. Wow, okay, get your GGs in for Tyvarius. Going to key in a 3:21:07 here and win this race. We'll move to 3-3. I was just looking at that. It's not, you know, this is going to be the end of the tournament for both runners. However, that was worth it. GG's to So15 at 3:21:42. A little late on the timer, so effectively 35 seconds. I mean, geez, 35 seconds across 200 minutes. It's fantastic stuff for us, of course. Let's see if anybody wants to talk. We'll probably get Tyvarius. There's another restream in Brazilian, so we'll be more likely filling the air with that one if he so chooses it. I don't presume to know what he wants to do on that. I mean, for him, I guess it's a little nicer because he'll go to 2 and 4. But even if he won, it doesn't. We're gonna need better than that to move on in the brackets with the way the tournaments shook out. So again, heck of a race. We'll see Tyvarius in a few minutes here. See what these stats say for us. Not many of these you can use. The doors you can. It's, yeah, good seeds are usually around 300. Obviously, this one's a little higher, but no more than necessary to get all the checks that we got, I guess. Seems about right. But so over there doing the same stuff. 50 less door transitions. That's interesting. Probably some resets that do affect those if you make them in Super Metroid. So our winner here, welcome in Tyvarius. GG's. What the heck?
I was so close at the end there to being like, that's the last race. We're both, like gonna be 3-3. Whoever wins, I might save the animals.
I wondered because I was digging up the spreadsheet in silence there when you were in escape, and I'm like, well, okay. But it was, I mean, the best kind of useless win you can have, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the game didn't have jokes. I was so ready for the mitts to be on the Armos Knights.
Yeah. Funny
That could
about
have been
that.
the funniest thing ever, but the game just didn't give it to us.
Yeah, so you already talked. It was a different go mode or close to go mode. I guess your mitts were pretty much last.
Yeah,
But
mitts right
he
into
did the
game.
same thing. He did Armos before the green pendant from Helma, which takes longer. It's like at that point, I guess you're both just making a call, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where because the seed was almost, so silly, I was like, okay, I have to make a call, which is why I killed Ridley. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, if mitts are here, I win because I
Right.
don't seed, so doing that. And then it just sort of snowballed from there instead of being sort of quote unquote smart about it. I was just like, well, now this is funny, or now this is my out. And the seed just said, oh no, go to swamp for your hook, and, mitts are at the worst check in SM ever.
Yeah. When there's just a few seconds like this over 200 minutes plus of gameplay, there are so many things you could look at. Now Ridley, okay, so obviously you checked Franker Z first or whatever it's called. You went up there, went back down. Now so did that, continued out, and then still didn't find what he was looking for at the time. You needed mitts, but you also needed hooks. So we were still sitting here thinking, well, maybe the hook's down there, right? And then you still are doing it. And so he ended up having to go back. That cost some time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just, you can look at it. Okay. You can look at it. The rest of us were here, but I will tell you that of all the things that got you a win here, the last one that mattered was he didn't damage down to 3 tanks.
Oh no.
That actually was actually, well, you were still in front, but not by much, and it could have been, who knows, with escape right at that point, but that kind of sealed it. He also tried baby skip and got caught and had baby speed. So that was another 20 some seconds. So there were some changes. It was a heck of an end game, and you don't normally get that here in SMZ3. You know, it's just to do the things like you say when we were just go get the animals too. But I mean,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, that was something else. The go back to the other end, the morph balls with catfish. You were
Yeah, I
way
mean,
behind on that. He had it earlier, but it ended up not mattering much because you were able to get speed, full clear green brain when you got there.
mm,
You know, you still had 2 trips, but so did he,
yeah.
except his was just for waterway. So add that in there.
Yeah, I definitely felt like the SM trips were more fluid, if I can say that. Like, obviously outside of leaving and then coming back to do Lower Norfair, and just hoping that, oh, it's a pendant, never go there, and then I should have listened to my gut and just done Gold Torizo and left. But you know, it is what it is. It's still a randomizer at the end of the day.
Yeah, you were in Gold Teresa at the exact same time. You were in a lot of spots at the exact same time. There were at
I love
least
it.
4 or 5 where you got the same spot at the same time, but with different routes.
Interesting.
Like
Oh man.
Hera. Hera was another one. He goes from the mountain, you go up the mountain. You
Mhm.
know, up versus right, but you got there at the same time.
Interesting.
It was, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it back because yeah, it's a Scoop. I always enjoy your calm, cool demeanor on comms, and it's a race this close. Watch it back, see. Well, I know where I could improve, but maybe see some different strats.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the stats here waiting for you. That's something, too, a lot of times doesn't matter much, but there's differences in there. You're ahead in some, he's ahead in some, and it's just like SMZ3, folks, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's a wild one, man. It's I'm just it was fun. I honestly came into this tournament expecting nothing. I play SMZ3 periodically for fun, and my buddy Vic's Rider, he's like, "Hey, there's a tournament coming up," and twisted my arm into signing up. But I'm glad I did. I got to race some cool people and got to chat with some cool people, so I enjoyed it. Shout outs to MM too for putting it on. Thank you, you and Jestro for rocking the restream today. Really appreciate that. Shout outs to the Brazilian restream where I believe So is doing an interview right now, but
Mhm.
that was really cool having bilingual restreams going on.
Yeah, for sure. I always tell him anytime something stupid happens, if I see him on Discord or whatever, I say, I'm hearing the word Carajo from you. And he usually knows what I mean by that. It's like the only word I know. There's probably a lot of that in this seed. That's my guess. Um, but yeah, it was fun for sure. But appreciate you putting it on. Like I said, I didn't figure out y'all were done regardless till clear at the end of this. I just looked at the schedules like, yeah, do whatever. But when I started, I'll tell you, I was like, well, it's Swiss, so guess what? That's putting me in early 2000s NFL mode and just going to go 8-8, or in this case 3-3, and that's probably what's going to happen. I might go 2-4, but that's a whole other story. It just, I don't know. If I win, I'm going to lose the next one, and lose, I'm going to win the next one. It's just, Swiss is good for some things, I guess, but
Yeah.
I also had no idea that we were doing 16 as opposed to like half or something like that, so I figured that out later. Like I said, I was just like you. I was just here to play, you know?
Yeah. Play, get a couple of games in, get the fix, and then go, yep, that I'm good. I'm good for now. I'll watch people who are, there were so many people in this tournament, I feel, who had a lot of experience in one of the games and then, enough experience in the other to play SMZ3. And
Right.
then there were definitely others who were, you know, very adept at both games. And so it's like I definitely came into it as I have a lot more link to the past experience, but I still enjoy the SM side. So it's been interesting seeing who excels at what game and seeing how they route things.
Yeah, in fact, most of the ones that I've seen, watched, calmed, whatever, have been like that, where one would have one set of experience and the other would have the other. Now, you both were primarily Zelda 3, but that I didn't diminish the race at all. And by the way, welcome on in, and GG's
So
15.
GG, man.
GG's, guys. Yeah, it was pretty close one.
What a way to finish Swiss, right?
Yeah, for sure. I came into the turn just to have some fun. I knew that I didn't have much a chance because I know how to play SM to have fun in SMZ3, but I'm not proficient in all the movement and all the execution in SM, so I really lag behind on seeds that require a lot of doing stuff in Super Metroid, but and I was out for a while of not playing SMZ3. It's been a couple of years that I didn't play it, and fortunately, like a month ago, before the tournament was announced, I played a couple of seeds and started to have fun again playing the game, and I just thought, why not enter the tournament? Had some fun with a competitive setting, so at least I got to have good races on the turn. Yeah.
No, we were saying that too. It's like just come hang out, have fun, race some people you haven't raced before, chat with some people you haven't chatted with before, and just have a good time. And I think that's what Rando should be about. I know there's obviously a competitive community, and that's what the point of this tournament is, but it's like at the same time, I know I'm not going to be an upper echelon runner, so I'm just here to have fun. And I don't know, hopefully the race showcased that, and I definitely had fun, so I hope you did too. And Scoop, hope you had fun making fun of us.
I mean, I can't. Every choice you both made was something like I definitely do that in a seed similar, for sure. So, but
Right.
that said, I mean, I was talking to Tyvarius that the choices were different for most of the seed, but pretty much lockstep for most of it, and you would meet each other at different points, many of them actually, and just even all the way up to go mode just shook out to separating a little, coming back, separating, coming back, and the whole end game was back and forth for different reasons. Tyvarius had a little extra aga, which normally it wouldn't matter, right?
Yeah, it was funny that both of our go mode items were different, but they locked essentially the same thing. That was like anything behind Ice Palace and TR. So it was funny that it came down to this.
And so for your part, I feel bad for you that the game really wanted you to have the hook shot despite your best efforts not to have to use it.
Yeah, when I found that Samaria, I was pretty hyped because, okay, now I know that I have a lot of stuff blocked behind the hook shot. But then I was doing the game, and hookshot wasn't showing up. I was, oh my god, will it be on Racket Ship or in Swan Palace? And I hate with all my might deep in Swan Palace. So yeah, so I was just hoping that please don't be on Swamp. Be on Racket Ship, but don't be on Swamp. And then when I came down to decide between Swamp and Racket Ship, I knew that I had to go to Swamp because it's Friday against one. And
Yeah, see, now let me know. I was saying that maybe Swamp is somewhere you go sooner if this doesn't involve Super Metroid. But is it not the thinking that there's just so many more places it could be but there? So let's try that.
No, I just hate Swamp. I think my least favorite checks on the whole game is like Mr. Mario cutscene, left side swamp plus doing swamp without hook shot and terror basement.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I can do catfish, walking catfish like 100 times before doing one of those checks.
Yeah, and I think somebody mentioned it, like the time shakes out pretty close, but I
yeah.
understand. I do
It still
because you.
Yeah,
feels weird though, right? You like
yeah,
it still feels bad. And no, I definitely typed in my chat in all uppercase "boo" when I found that hook shot. So you're not alone. Like the game doesn't have a sense of humor.
yeah,
That was almost vanilla. Gravity Suit was almost
Yep.
vanilla. There
Yeah.
were
yeah. I gave a good laugh when I found that gravity.
There were definitely a couple things where I'm just like, really, game? But no, it was fun. Had a good time, and no, not to self promote too much, but so I'm looking forward to seeing you in the bingo Link to the Past bingo tournament coming up, and yeah, well,
I mean, you run the thing. I think it's okay. So
yeah, that's fair. I mean, I hope to see everyone in the Link to the Past bingo tournament then, but I, it's one of those things. I'm like, all right, hey, SMZ3 is done. Our team's coming to an end in league, so it's like, all right, what am I looking forward to? Super Mario Brothers, maybe, Zelda 2, maybe, bingo, definitely. So just try to keep busy, sort of thing.
well, I was a little late getting here because there's a beeper I have that was like, "Hey, there's a MSRP GPU." I'm like, okay. That I ended up not getting it. I read something real quick and there's an issue with it, which kind of makes sense because anything at MSRP right now probably has a reason for being that way. So sorry about whenever you look your start there, but it was pretty standard. Nobody went down to Orfped, did they? Just at the start, or did you just
Yeah,
go
no.
straight to Zelda?
I mean, it was definitely a hey, look, Eastern's a pendant, go in there early. See,
Oh yeah. Okay.
I don't know. It was fun. I'm looking forward to watching how the rest of the tournament goes. So GG again. So thank you again, Scoop, everyone.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
GG.
Yeah.
Thanks for the restream, and see you guys around on other tourneys.
We'll do GG's. So as far as the rest of this tournament goes, currently going on now, though not on stream, we have Sky and Crimson Avix. Don't know what their records are. But tomorrow at 6 o'clock, it's Andy and Gamachu. Of course, that's slotted up already. We'll need a tracker for that. I'll see what we need a little closer, but have a look at that one. Hydra Power and Flip Hill on Speed Gaming 5 at 8 o'clock. These are all Eastern times, by the way, Eastern US. So they're at 4 and 1. Now, that said, like I was talking here about the records people are going to need, I think a couple people at 4 and 2 may not make it. So that could be a big one. So check it out. Obviously, like I said, those are the two that we have channels for at the moment. Just need some trackers. Can't do both, so let's see where we can fill in gaps here for you. And yeah, rest of the final week of Swiss goes on until Tuesday. So we'll give you further updates tomorrow. Somebody will. And yeah, appreciate once again Gesture Zooks for taking care of multiple things on the end of the restream. We need that sort of thing. I appreciate it. Gives me something to do in here. And to Tyvarius and So15 for the run, because that was a good one. Usually, I mean, over 3 hours, I'm like, come on, let's go. But this one, you watched from start to finish. You were invested, and that, despite the irrelevance of it. I mean, not to sounds like a bad word, but it's just the truth. It's just that there's only 16 going on, and everybody's gonna have to have higher than 3 wins to get there. So this was just like we all said and agreed, a fun game and a good watch. So much love, and we'll see you next mission.